Welcome back to Oleh at Large, Aaliyah's story. This episode is going to be about getting back into shape and getting through some difficult times. Welcome. Hey, this is David Levine, and you have joined my podcast. This is a podcast where I talk about my experience in immigrating to Israel. I am a immigrant, an oleh, and I made aliyah, which means to immigrate to Israel. It's coming on close to a year or so officially. Officially, I got my certificate, my Tuhuda Zahut, as they call it, my government ID last May. But I basically March when I brought Dolly over. That was really when it started to bed in, so to speak. We laid to rest the Bibas children and their mother, Shiri. And not going to lie, last couple weeks have been very difficult and intense here in the country. I'll get into that a little bit later. First, I want to talk about just some of the things I've been up to recently, and particularly with a focus on fitness and gyms. And we also have a quick little interview with a special guest, a friend of mine who I spent some time today at the Tel Aviv Marathon. And you'll hear from him a bit later. Since the beginning of the year, I've been trying to get back into better shape. I have started to use a online trainer that basically gives me all of my workouts, also gives me my nutrition, that sort of thing, as well as good accountability and a bit of community, as he's got all of the people in the program, a big WhatsApp group, which is sort of fun. And it's been working out pretty well so far. And a lot of it is that I need to actually go to the gym. So when I first moved here and I was living in Modi'in at my mom's, I did some investigation into the different gyms that were available. And there's a couple of different chains that are pretty broadly spread out across the country. One is called Icon. There's another one called Holmes Place, and that one happens to have, in some of the locations, particularly in Modi'in, they have a pool. The one I chose is called Profit or Profit, and chose is called Profit or Profit, which is pretty clever, I think. It cost me about 169 shekels a month, which is about $47 in today's conversion rate. And it's a pretty basic gym. It's got all the machines you might want. It's got good cardio machines. They have classes, which I never really take anyway. And I wager they're probably in Hebrew, and my Opan is not at a place, my language is not at a place yet where I can probably follow a class very effectively. So I've been hitting the gym, and one of the other things I also have decided to do was to run a race. I have not been a big runner over the past couple of years. I injured my foot a while back around, I think around 2020, 21. And so really focused more on the Peloton when I lived in London. And I decided to get back into running. When I was younger, I actually ran 3 marathons when I was younger. Since then, I've also done a bunch of half marathons and various races. I did a 3-day thing at Disneyland Paris where you did a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon all over a weekend, which was incredible with my friend Mark. And so I decided to find a race here to kick things off with my return to being healthy and fit. To me, a race is great to focus the mind, create some discipline, and create a plan to hit the numbers that I want to hit. So I signed up for the Tel Aviv Marathon. I did not race the full marathon. I ran the 10K. I signed up for the 10K. They also have a 5K and a full marathon and a half marathon. I signed up for the 10K. And lo and behold, one of my new friends that I've made here in Israel, Shlomo, also signed up. And so while we were there today, I did a quick little interview with him, which we're going to go to now. Okay, so we're here at the Tel Aviv Marathon with my friend Shlomo. Shlomo, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Shlomo.
How long have you been living in Israel? When did you make Aliyah?
I made Aliyah in January of 2022, so it's been just over 3 years.
And where did you move here from?
I moved here from Toronto, Canada.
Amazing, a Canuck. Soon to be an American. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. No, not everybody's perfect.
Yeah, I know. How's your Hebrew?
My Hebrew is Yafet Me'od. No, I'm just kidding. It's a work in progress, but I'm definitely getting there. I've been going to Ulpan on and off for the better half of 2 years, and I still do a lot of studying on my own, and it's getting better.
Amazing. And how are you finding Aliyah so far?
Best decision of my life. Even with the war and everything, I see what's going on in the rest of the world, and I'm happier to be here in Israel than any other place.
Amazing. And so we're here together. We just finished the 10K. This is the first time I've ever done the race here. What do you think of the race? Is this your first time? Are you happy with your time?
This is my second ever race. I did my best 10K I've ever done, but I'm glad that I was doing it alongside of you because you pushed me a little bit and I had the best time, and couldn't ask for better weather, couldn't ask for a better crowd, and it's just been a great race and I'm happy to be here.
Amazing. Toda rabah.
Bavakasha.
Shabbat shalom. Awesome. Say that the race was organized very well. There were stands with different vendors selling all sorts of things, as you might imagine at a race. The 10K took us from Hayarkon Park to down Dizengoff and then basically back. It was a really pretty easy. I mean, it was not a particularly difficult course. It was generally pretty flat, and everyone was really having a good time, having a good vibe. There were DJs throughout the course. There were the typical water stations and all of that. I happened to get the gold package, which allowed us access to the lounge. So when I say us, originally I got for myself, and I got another one because I thought someone from my family was actually going to be brave enough to do it with me, but no one did. So Shlomo got to be the beneficiary of the extra pass to the lounge, and the lounge was terrific, actually, once you could find it. The lounge had all sorts of food and beverages and coffee and very clean bathrooms, and it was available before the race and after the race. In terms of the race itself, the weather was terrific. We started off a little bit later than they had planned for us to start. Our time was great. We hit. I got in about an hour and 3 minutes, and Shlomo was a few minutes later. Not even probably 2-3 minutes. We ran most of it together, and it was just a really fun day. I'm looking forward to the next month or so to focus more on my health and going to the gym. And towards the end of March, I'm going to be volunteering again, and the base will probably not have gym facilities, so I'm going to definitely focus the next number of weeks on getting fitter. And I am considering doing the Jerusalem Marathon race, 10K again, which looks pretty cool to do. So if you've ever run a race, one of the typical elements of the race is that you get a participation shirt. You get a race shirt with the logo of the event emblazoned on the front and all the corporate sponsors on the shirt as well. And this year, the race shirts were a lovely blue. And there were some other, I could see prior years, people had some older ones. I decided to forego the blue and pulled out an orange running shirt that I've had for a while. And it is to keep in mind the Bibas children and the Bibas family. So, Bibas children and their mother were returned to Israel this past week. We've known for a bit of time now that they were murdered, and it was a challenging week. And I often get asked what it's like to be here, and one of the things I typically will say is that I feel like there are certain things about what's going on in the world. I would feel them anywhere, particularly as so much of my family is here. I would always have been concerned about so many things, and certainly the plight of the hostages in general, the return of the hostages, so gaunt over the past couple weeks, and now this. I know I would feel that acutely anywhere, but you feel it more here, and that's true. However, you can also do something about it here in a way that you can't elsewhere. The Bibas funeral was closed to the public. However, you were able to show your respect and go to the route where they transported the family and the Bibas children and Shiri to their final resting place. And I did that this week. I wound up meeting my sister and her husband at a place not too far from where I live, which was on the route that they took. And I was one of thousands of people. And at least for myself, it was the ability to do something in the face of the horror of it all. And I'm looking. One other thing that I was able to do this week was to work with an organization called Habayit that delivers gifts for the families of hostages. And there's two different families of hostages that live relatively close to me, and the Habayit people are based in Modi'in, and where my mom is, and I was going to be there anyway, so I wound up transporting some gifts to one of the families in Bat Yam, which is the next city over, and then another family that's here in Cholon. So it's the ability to do these small things for other people, for really for myself, that makes it special to be here. Okay, so the word for the podcast is a word you can use and know. You should know this anyway because you can use it in Trader Joe's in particular. The word is Bamba. Bamba is a tasty peanut puffed snack. They have it in all kinds of variations. There's nougat. Um, there's all different kinds. There's chocolate. There's spicy. And there's also like a protein one, which they gave out several bags of that at the race today. And you can also buy it at Trader Joe's. So I encourage you to do so. It's delicious. It can also actually be sort of healthy if you get the one with the extra protein in it. And so Bamba is the word of the podcast. Go buy some and support Bamba at Trader Joe's in particular if you are in the U.S. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Please download. Please give me good thumbs up and that sort of thing. And we'll see you next time.